Now that we understand how powerful plugins can be, let's create a new plugin and explore some key Moodle APIs. I won't go into too much detail on these APIs or cover every topic, but we'll look at the most important aspects. Before starting Moodle development, remember to enable debugging mode and display errors to make troubleshooting easier. Let's create a new plugin of the admin tool type. Two local and report plugins don't rely on any specific APIs. They only require two files, version.php and a language file. Most plugin types need at least one language string for the plugin name, usually called plugin name, but this differs for filter, data format, and activity module plugins. Once you run Moodle's upgrade process, the plugin is installed. At this stage, it doesn't do anything and doesn't appear anywhere except on the plugins overview page. As of version 4.5, Moodle still has external pages where the path in the URL is the same as the path inside the codebase. In future versions, they will be replaced with routing. When creating an external page in a Moodle plugin, the first statement is requiring config.php. This will set up Moodle and provide access to 17 global variables, which are also available in all Moodle internal files. We'll start by looking at the first three. The $CFG global object contains all environment variables from config.php as well as core settings. To retrieve settings from a core subsystem plugin, you can use the getConfig function. Moodle's setup process also reads cookies, checks active sessions, retrieves the current user, and stores the data in the $user variable. The $user and $session objects allow you to transfer information between requests. Both are actually just references to elements in PHP's built-in $_session array. Moodle has three levels of authentication: not logged in at all, logged in as a guest, and logged in as a real user. Here's a sample test to check the behavior of functions is logged in and is guest user along with the $user ID under different login states. Two key takeaways from this test. Function is logged in returns true when the user is logged in as a guest. And even if the user isn't logged in at all, $user is still an object with an ID property set to 0. To verify if a user is fully authenticated, check that is logged in returns true and is guest user returns false. The same applies to the require login function, which is commonly used across Moodle to enforce login requirements. As a Moodle administrator, you assign roles to users. Roles consist of capabilities. As a Moodle developer, you almost never work with roles directly. Instead, you work with capabilities. To declare capabilities in your plugin, you need to add them to db/access.php file. After making this change, you must bump the version number and run the upgrade process so the Moodle rereads the access file. Now let's add a capability check to our file. We'll also add a link to this page in the site administration tree by defining it in settings.php. Using the same capability check. After purging caches, we can see the link and access the page. There is no output yet, but we'll get to that soon. Next, let's add the same page inside a course. To do this, we'll implement a callback that extends the course navigation. This will be a new page that takes course ID as an argument. The require course login function ensures that the user is logged in and has access to the course. The capability check here needs to be in the course context. To keep it simple, we'll use the same capability for both pages, but in one case we will check it in the course context and in another in the system context. And again, we'll need to purge caches so that Moodle detects the new callbacks. Now you can see the link in the course navigation and access the page. In the next section, we'll add some actual content to the page. Here's a list of the most common functions used to check user access. Keep in mind that isLoggedIn, requireLogin, and requireCourse login don't guarantee that the current user has an actual user account. Also, calling has capability for site administrators will always return true, even if they don't have any roles with this capability. If you need to check whether the user explicitly has a capability, like a notification permission when you don't want to spam admins, pass the parameter do anything equals false.